Welcome back to Saturday's Kids. Today's part 3 of No More Heroes Anymore. Today it's the turn of the Skinheads. Now I actually shot this video about 2 years ago on my other channel, Scoot Scoop, but the interview was so good, so in depth, I asked the lady involved if it's okay to share it on this channel, and she's in with a chance of winning a minimum of £100. Great news, she says yes, and we're going to crack on with that in a moment. But first, I want to blow your mind with some absolute useless piece of information which I came across the other day. So I was strolling through the internet like you do, just rolling around a bit of rubbish, and it leads to another, to another, to another. By the way, this doesn't involve porn, nothing like that. Anyway, suddenly came into my head and I thought, I wonder how many Lambrettas there are in the UK. The whole UK, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. And I thought, from what I filmed, when I do the August bank holiday, down in Brighton and the Isle of Wight at the same time, there's got to be 5,000 Lambrettas down there alone on that particular weekend. So I'm thinking in my head, somewhere between 7 and 12,000 Lambrettas in the UK. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to give you a few seconds, think about it. How many Lambrettas do you think are currently in the UK? Have a think about that. So, what did I do? I googled it to find out the answer. Now, it doesn't actually tell you how many Lambrettas there are in the UK. But what it did tell me, which was mind-blowing, if I'm thinking there's somewhere around 10 to 12,000 Lambrettas in the UK, it says there are only seven with an MOT. 7. And I've got to say before we go on, mine isn't one of them. So those Lambrettas, 40 years old or over, possibly 99.9% of them Lambrettas on the road, 7 have got an MOT. How amazing is that? I couldn't believe it, so I'm going to show you now. That's what it says. Read it there. 7 Lambrettas in the UK with an MOT. In fact, if you're one of them 7 watching this, put your name below. I'd love to know who has got an MOT on their Lambretta. Anyway, blew my mind. So, let's crack on. So today I have Sarah with me. Hi Sarah.
Hiya.
Where about you from?
I'm originally Brightonian from Brighton, but I now live in Worthing, which is in West Sussex.
And you are part of a scooter club?
I am, Area 51 Scooter Club. I've been with them since 1999. I'm the number 1 now. And we do a lot of charity events and go all over the country as we are today. And
We'll come back to that in a second. I wanted to start off because this channel's all about cult movements.
Yeah.
And you're a skinhead girl.
I am.
So tell me, how did that come about? How did you start off?
I wasn't a skinhead to start with. I started off liking scooters. My mum used to work at the Old Ship Hotel in Brighton, and after school she took me down there. She was doing the chambermaid bit, and she said, come on, I'm going to show you the bikes. So we went outside across the road. There's loads of these bikes, and I always remember the bikes. And we walked over. She went, aren't these gorgeous? And these scooters went past, and she went, oh, ignore them, they're hair dryers. My mum was a biker. And I went, nah, no. And it turns out that they were making this film. Didn't know nothing about it. And apparently it was Quadrophenia. So it was on like the beginning of the week.
So that's about 17,
oh God, 77, 76. Yeah. And to me it wasn't a film. It was nothing. My mum showed me these bits of metal, and all of a sudden the 2-stroke went past and it went straight up my nose. And never went back. Never went back. I got on my chopper, rally chopper, and that was a scooter. I was pretending to change gear, you name it.
You haven't still got the chopper, have you?
I know. I wish I had. No, it'd be worth a fortune. But yeah, so, and from there I went sort of a bit suede, and then
so we're talking still 70s or 80s?
No, going into the 80s. So I was into madness anyway, madness nut, and I went over and met some mods, and I thought, alright, give this a go. But I was a sort of two-tone mod. I wasn't the girly mod, I was the two-tone mod. And I met some fantastic people, still friends with them today, most of them. And I then went out of a chat for a couple of weeks and met a load of skinheads. And I got escorted up to the hairdressers where I would clean the floor, and they said, do you want to do it? And I went, yeah. And the feather cut came straight off, and that was in 85. I was 14. So I was mod from 12 right up till then. So it was a different era. So you couldn't do it nowadays, but in them days, you go down. We had the Cavern in Brighton, and that was our bit. And there's photos of me.
How did you find the change in music? Obviously, the clothes as sharp as mods, really. To be fair, there.
It's no real change in music for me because I wasn't into the National Front side of the skinhead that was in the 80s. I was still two-tone ska. We never really called it Trojan. We never really called it the Spirit of 69. None of that came into it. We just liked the music. And I remember going to see Desmond Decker in Brighton. Wow. And he came up to the Gloucester and they wouldn't let the skinheads in. And fair play to the bloke, he came up, he stood at the door and he said, I'm not playing unless these people come in. Because that was his...
What year was that?
Oh
roughly,
my God. 86. His mum, I think, his mum lived in Brighton. But so we got to see him, I got to see Toots and the Maytals, I got to see all those different types. But I still liked the 60s. So to me, the development of mod into skinhead, you can see it because it's the working class rather than what it was then.
That's right.
But skinhead for the 80s was the bleached jeans, this, and which I did it all. And then moved on and I went back into the scootering side, still skinhead but scootering.
Touching on the clothes there's two types of skinhead. There's the...
Always many.
To me, I've never been into skinheads, but I've always sort of saw there was two types, as in the jeans and bleached and the stay press and like loafer.
Yeah, I mean, there's the bleached jeans, which was more 80s. It's still going. Your bleached jeans, your DMs, and you've got your braces and that. But for me, that was my era of 80s. And my idea of bleached jeans was awful. I cocked it right up. My mum got it all right for me. But my mum preferred skinhead to mod. She didn't like mod. She liked
you say
skinhead.
That your mum was a biker?
She was a biker, yeah. She had Nortons and that. So when I came home, I went, Mum, I'm a mod. It was like, yeah. And I had a Parker and she was like horrified. But when I came home with skinhead, no problem. She loved the skinhead. You know, she didn't like the hair at first. She just went a bit drastic, but straight shave off.
Did you ever find the style of skinhead as such clashing with jobs?
Yeah, in the 80s I couldn't get a job with it, and I would go through life still. I'd get it and adopt it back into the feather, so I'd have to grow it or chop it all the feathers off, which would destroy my life, especially when they went like that and you just see your world come off. But nowadays, and I work in a government job and couldn't give a damn. If I had pink fluorescent all over, maybe they'd have something to say. But to them, there is no. And I have a number 8 now, which is good enough for me. Could go shorter, they wouldn't mind. But in the same token, my choice. I have my feathers at the back. I've gone grey in lockdown. Couldn't be bothered to dye it. Saves me a fortune. But a lot of the girls now, a lot of the feathers are going grey as well. So they're like, yeah, let's embrace it. But I've been on and off skinhead due to work more than anything else since 1985.
Did you ever sort of come out of it like most mods that I know came out of the mod scene to sort of have a family and then they sort of hit sort of late 40s, 50s and they're coming back?
No, I didn't. I came out 89, 90 for 3 years and I couldn't stay away, so I came back. So I went back to scooterist as a scooterist. And I rode solo. I passed my test because I nearly got caught on a 200 and I had to do it. And I'd sold my scooter for 3 years and I couldn't deal with it. I had to come back. Because scootering, skinhead, mod, rockabilly, you name it, they're all cults that bring people together. They're a family. So in my generation, you had no family. So you grow up and these people became your family.
Yes.
And it was lovely.
Do skinheads go for a certain type of scooter, Lambretta, Vespa?
No, it's up to the skin. It used to be that they go for the skelly.
Yes.
The skelly look, and that was sort of a slade thing. But now it's what you can afford. Scooters, Lambrettas are not cheap nowadays. My Lambretta I bought for £200. Nowadays they're 7-8 grand. And I mean I've had one of my Lambrettas for 23 years. My Vespa I've had for 19, but then again,
you got?
I've got 4.
4.
Yeah, my late husband's. I've got his Lambretta and I've got his Vespa, which is now mine, and I've got my Lambretta and my Vespa, and I've got an Li Series 3.
So you're a member of a club?
Yeah, I'm Area 51 Scooter Club, which I joined in 1999. It sort of disbanded a little bit, and then I took over and reintroduced it in 2005, and we rebuilt it, and we've probably got some of the best, for me, the closest, nicest people you'll ever meet.
Roughly how many members?
We've got about running members,
Yes.
we've got about 20, 25. We've got youngsters ranging from 10. The oldest is probably 62. And there's a whole mixture, but each one of them looks out for each other.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. We've got mod, skinhead, I suppose casual, we've got nothing, we've got punk, we've got psychobilly, we've got gay. You know, proud of that. Don't care. As long as you enjoy it and smile.
That's right.
We only have 2 rules. Got to have insurance and you got to smile. That's it.
And I suppose in your areas where you've always sort of been, it's always been easy to get fashionable clothes, like the mods things, the skinhead clothes, being London, Brighton.
Skinhead is harder. Female skinhead is harder. Because you've got to get the 2 tonic suits, and my tonic suits had to come from Ralco. Ralco's idea of sizing, oh my god, no idea. But we've got a lady in the club, Terry England, who does Terry England attire. She's one of the most prominent mod designers, but she also done my skinhead stuff. So we have her in the club. She's amazing. And also we've got other new ones introduced now. So you've got all these different ones now that come into it, but skinhead is incorporated into it. So, and as you get older, people are changing and going for the autos, which I tried. I can't get on with them, but that's my personal choice, not theirs.
I think in the scooter scene now, it's sort of, it has to be accepted. There's so many autos.
It doesn't
across the
matter
clubs,
to me. Do you know what my son's got? It's an LX125 ET4, and his first scooter rally. He was 3 months old, and he was at the Isle of Wight, and he's done more rallies over his life than a lot of people. But he rides a scooter now, and he's not a scooterist. He's not necessarily followed mum, but I will always make sure he's got a licence. Make sure he's got a licence for a car and a bike, and he's got a scooter, and he chose it. So it's nice to see. We've got youngsters. One of them who was in Pebble for the Boy, he went down to do filming for it. He's a real mod, you know, and he's I said to him, big thing for us is you own it now. It's not ours, it's yours. You own what you want. If you want to wear clothing, you want to change the scene, it's yours. You do it. We're the old school, so we're not changing. But saying that, you know, we've got a guy who's just joined, a 16-year-old. He likes his scooter. He likes his bit of punk. You do it. You've got to own it. And you've got others that are sort of the skinhead side, but they own it. It's theirs, not ours. It's a young generation, but we are. You can't change who you are.
No.
And I don't really want to.
I came into this scene, into mod, and I was in it for about 5 years, and I came out of it. But it never leaves you. It never leaves you. And even when you're trying to buy clothes which aren't mod, you're still picking mod type clothes.
It is odd, yeah. I mean, I like during the day I wear my t-shirts. If I go to work, it's a whole different ball game. I've got to wear business suits, but my hair don't go away. So it's like they'll still know who I am, but my tattoos are still there and everything else, and I'm proud of them. But they accept me as I am, so I won't change that.
How is the skinhead scene in Europe now? Because it seems
it's not too bad. I mean, it's changing. I mean, we're going to Vegas next year, so you've got the skinhead scene of America. But what you've got over at the moment is you see a lot of the Germans coming through, and they're really good. You know, I don't know too much about the French, but you've got the skinhead scene of Germany, which is changing, really, really greatly changing, and they are a nice bunch of people. You know. They're introducing their kids to it in the right way. They're telling them about the Scar, they're telling them about Two-Tone, they're telling them about Trojan, telling them about the history, the real history. They're not utilising it for any political. It's just a case of, do you know what, I feel comfortable, I love this music, let's enjoy it. And that's great. Spanish are the same, Italians are the same. The Italians use their scooters not for mod or skinhead or anything, they use it to get to and from. But you've then got the Italian side coming through with their skinhead, their mods, everything else. Same as Greece. You've got Thailand. You've got all around the world. It is now bigger than it was before.
The Thai mods have a
Massive, yeah. But then the Thais have also got the patent for half the bloody stuff for the scooters. So yeah, you can get stuff from them, and it's brilliant metal.
And the music, the skinhead music. I mean, you got the ska and the reggae, and then there's the oi side of it.
Oh yeah, there's two sides to it. So you've got the oi side, which originally you had some National Front in there, but that's choice. You had Screwdriver and all that, and then into oi. And oi's got like a punk side to it. The people that listen to that like it, not necessarily National Front, nothing like that, or as I call it, they're not racism. They like that style of music, and they're allowed to.
Yeah.
Why can't they? It's not my cup of tea, but I've got no problem. Like you go Skinhead Reunion, you've got two types there. You've got the reggae side, and then you've got the oi, so they mix the two together. You come to a rally, they mix the two together. But you're sitting at a rally today where you've got mod, skinhead, punk, psychobilly, rockabilly,
Scooter boys,
every single genre that will sit together and have a pint.
That's right. Yeah.
There's no like the 80s where we'd fight. Well, in fairness, we didn't really fight. We just ran around and said, "Can I stop now?" And for me, I'd run around chasing a mod or something. I'd go, "Stop," to whoever it was. I'd come on, calm down because I can't run anymore. I'll see you at school Monday. Yeah, all right, mate. So it was the reality of whatever you hear and see isn't the reality. And we've got a chap who we know really well, who is the famous one for hitting a deck chair in a photo, and his name's Brian. And he's still going now. He's still got his scooter. And we did a photo of him doing that, so I've got the double of it. But he will tell you the same. He said some bloke would come up and pay me £5 to stand there and fight a rocker in the 60s. And he said it was the media. It's all about media. Media interpretate everything that they want.
Papers, doesn't
it does. And if it sits there and goes, a bunch of skinheads, racist, well, in fact, it wasn't. It was a bunch of people that are nasty, nasty people that maybe adopt a jacket, that maybe look a sort of way, but they're not actually that. So,
to be fair, in a gang, when I say gang, in a group of 100 people, you're always going to get a battle.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter what you do, even in mod, skinhead, cultures. I mean, we're a subculture, so we develop within ourselves as a family. But then within that family, you've got scooter clubs, and then within them scooter clubs, they've got their own bit. So in our scooter club, we've got some that like one music, some that don't. But we're getting too old to sort of, you know, if someone has a go at us, we're going to have a pop back. But at the same time, it's like, hang on, you don't know nothing about us.
Is there many skinheads in your scooter club?
Yeah, I can't think. There's about 3. But in fairness, I've got friends that are skinheads and everything else that are not necessarily in the club but will come round with us. They don't need to be in a club to be. No. For us, it's identifying with the scooters. But yeah, I mean, I love my suits. You know, they fitted better in '85. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we grow older, we grow a little bit wiser, we grow a little bit more money in our pocket. It's just we grow a bit bigger as well.
You never change who you are.
No, and you can't. And I see old like Teddy boys from the old 50s, and they are still the same now, growing thin, growing. Good on them. Yeah. You can't change who you are.
Well, it's very refreshing to see that you're still enjoying the scene.
I love it.
After all these years.
I love it. Still keep going, yeah.
And you're still finding new things to twig on to.
Oh God, I learn every day. Absolutely learn every day. So
thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Cheers. So what about that then? What a cracking interview. That's the Skinheads. So we've done mods, punks and skinheads. If you want a chance to win a minimum of £100 at the end of the year, do get in touch. I'd love to hear your tales, and I'm sure thousands others out there would too. Doesn't matter what your subculture is, whether you're still into it now or not. Do get in touch, we'll have a chat, we'll put it on air, and somebody at the end of the year will win a minimum of £100. So ride safe, until the next time, see you soon.